Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, the Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, B. How is it going? Happy
Hey, hey,
Friday.
hey. Happy Friday. It ain't Friday Eve no more. It's Friday officially. Welcome. How you doing, mother?
Good, y'all. I got some good sleep, slept a little longer this morning, so I feel really rested.
Mm. Same
Yeah,
here, mama. Same here. I went to bed like 9:45, 10 o'clock.
that's two. Well, I got two, the grandson, and we went about 9:35, 9:40, and I'm talking about we were out. We put the oh gosh, I always say it wrong. The Miriam.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We went to sleep. Yeah, we put
The
that on. I don't even know
19th
if
chapter of the Quran.
I don't even know if we got through. I don't remember. Both of us.
You
We were
did
just
you did the recitation, the
yeah, that one you sent me a while back.
yeah.
So we were gone. We were gone, y'all, and slept. I got up maybe twice throughout the night, and then just didn't wake up till a little after 6. No alarm. So
Oh,
I was
wow.
kind of pushing it this morning. No alarm was set. So
Yeah, I'm
very
the same
rested,
way. I
very
don't I don't I
rested.
don't
So
really use the
very
an alarm anymore now. I mean, I went to bed around 9:45 to 10 and I woke up at 5. Yeah, I woke up at 5.
mm,
And I've been up ever since. Woke up, prayed a little bit, and then when the Fajr prayer, when the dawn prayer came around, woke my wife up, and then we prayed together. So I prayed a little bit before, then with her, took out the trash, pushed the trash around for the people to come through, turned the coffee on, and sat back
boy,
down for a
you
little
look
bit.
rested. You do.
Hmm?
You look more rested. You look more rested than I've seen you look in a long time.
Yeah,
So
because
that's a
usually
good.
I'm waking up a couple, 30 minutes before or 20 minutes
Mhm.
before or something, but it's like, let me go and get it. But I was tired last night. I was tired from
Yeah,
doing the contract work and training people. So I just went to sleep. I couldn't stay up.
yeah. So it's been a good night. Let's see who's
Yeah, who we
in
got?
this. Big Mike says, "Good morning, everyone." Auntie Richetta says, "Good morning, butterfly and nephew." We got the heart and the
What's up,
butterfly
Auntie?
this morning, and she says to everyone. Miss Brenda says, "Great everything, everyone. It's Friday. I almost want to say yay, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Friday. So yeah. Um, anything from yesterday? I don't know why I feel like Miss Brenda has something. I don't know. Maybe we got it yesterday though. Miss Brenda, did you do the collagen peptide or whatever it is? Did
I was
you
gonna
put
have you
it in
put
your
some
plan?
collagen in. I got some in
So
there too.
what?
Some of that collagen. I got some samples in there. A bunch of samples that I got from Muhammad at Sprouts.
I want them. If
You want
Stella's
them?
not if Stella's not going to use them, I want them.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
I think that's some thankful that I learned about that. I was thinking about how how I learned about that was through my doing something for someone that I said I would never. I didn't want anything to do with. I don't care what y'all say. I don't want. And I was actually up there doing something, looking for something for this person, and the lady, we just kind of got to talking, and she's like, "I got something you should try." And the grass fed butter and all that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and it's more. I'm saying that more to say, y'all. Number one, just don't say what you ain't gonna do and what you gonna do, because like they say, you make plans about what you gonna do, and God be sitting over there like, "Whew, okay." You tell your mama, I ain't gonna do it. Your mama be like, okay. So, Miss Brenda says, I did it yesterday, getting ready to put some in my coffee now. Yep. I had a joyous time looking at it this morning. It has become my ritual of putting it in my coffee and having it to be a reminder for me that God's in my cup, meaning in my life, and that no matter what, He takes care of me, no matter what. I got a great lesson yesterday, and I actually apologized to someone yesterday because I let a situation get me out of where I am and where I'm going. I let a person in a situation with that person. And so I apologized to someone who got the
The brunt end of it.
that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
apologized and she said, it's okay, Miss Tammy. I was like, no, it's not. It's not okay. It's not okay that I mean, it's not okay. Um so yeah, here we are. And then as I looked at the person who I allowed to get me in that place, I just saw such pain and brokenness. And as I was thinking about it this morning, um, y'all, sometimes most times, when we try to hurt people or just do evil things for no reason or cause this riffraff, right? Y'all look inward. So, am I hurting? Because the more you try to say that you are not hurting and you don't need to heal, Brandon, you sent that the trauma, whatever it was, Dr. Who's that lady, Dr.
Watkins.
Watkins,
I think it's
talking about
Boyce
trauma.
Watkins' wife. I think her name's Alicia or
Yeah, I
something.
looked at it a little bit last night. I caught the tail end of it. I guess because by the time I saw it, it was almost over. But sometimes it may feel like or seem like I minimize trauma, and I don't. I just feel like if you got it and we all got it, then let's heal from it. Let's try to fix it. Let's find out where we got stuck in life. And let's stop putting covers over what we've gone through. Because what you don't reveal, Brandon says, you don't heal. And so you just go around hurting people. But as you go around hurting people and attacking people, you're doing the same to yourself. You're doing it to yourself and you will never break free. It's like somebody kidnapping you, taking you captive, but they leave all the doors and windows open, but you won't get out. You won't try any door or any window, but they're all open, right? And they are all open because God has opened them for you. You can get out because God is in your cup, no matter what it looks like, what you went through, what you're going through. You can. So let's not keep serving a big God, right? But putting the big trauma over God, right? So just wanted to say that. Over to you, Brandon. Good morning, Monique. Um, I think we're caught up. So good morning, Monique.
Good morning, cuz. I love y'all, all the family, all the friends that are attending this morning. Thank y'all for waking up and being with us and sharing a cup of coffee and sharing your morning with us. We are, as many of you day ones know, going through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. Please go and get that book again, Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. Here's the book. There it is. There's Mr. Kimbro himself. Hopefully we can get to chat with him. He must be. I'm pretty sure he's an older gentleman now. But if anybody finds him, man, we got a special prize for you. If y'all can get in contact with that brother, that would be great. A little bit more about this book, Daily Motivations for African American Success, will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. Not the fake ones, not the ones society puts out for you, not the ones that make you a statistic, but your true goals. And 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year. Dennis Kimbro, who's also the author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment, and our own gifts, to transcend labels, to cultivate a positive attitude within us, to become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. So each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. So again, welcome to the show of the In This Season podcast. This has to be what, day 260, 261 of our let's see, what day is it there, Mom? 261. Got it right this time. Yeah, I did get some sleep. Boy, I usually mess that up.
Yeah.
But
You look so
261.
rested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
do.
I'm just up. I ain't got the bags under my eyes because I've been up for more than an hour or two. Um, but yeah, we've been doing this consistently, Mom. So thank you for keeping us going, dragging us along at times. Uh, um, when I had to leave, you still kept things going, invited other people in, but you have maintained your energy throughout this entire time. So hats off to you, pat on the back to you, round of applause to you. Before we jump into it, anything else before we read the passage?
I think we have, let me go back. I think I saw Kwani. Yep, Kwani is in, says, "Good morning, cousin. It is so good to see you out there." So good morning to you. Good morning to you. You should give me a call. We should catch up. So,
What
yep,
up,
there you go.
cuz?
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. All y'all, man. It's beautiful to see so much family here. So thank y'all for coming. And let's get more family in here, y'all. Like, who's the family member that you talk to most? Are they here? Right? I'm sure you've mentioned something to them about this show. Who can you get in? Whether it's on the same side of the family as us or a different side of the family. We all family. We all related. So please invite them and let's keep this good thing going, right? Spread the good news. So today is October 18th. And our title for today is I Heard It Through the Grapevine. I heard it through the grapevine. And our quote for today comes from Ed Bradley, the 60 Minutes co host, Ed Bradley, who said, "I think the public is too hungry for gossip. There are things more important than who slept with whom." Again, I'll say that I think the public, he said, is too hungry for gossip. There are things more important than who slept with whom. The television program 60 Minutes once reported on a widely read tabloid and interviewed people who were buying the paper at grocery store checkout counters. "Do you believe what you read in the paper?" the reporter asked. "No," came the reply, "but we like to read it anyway." Gossip holds a strange fascination for all of us. There is a legend that drives home this very point. A man with a troubled conscience asked the village priest for advice. The man had reported some gossip about a friend and had later found his words to be untrue. He asked the priest what he could do to make amends. The priest told the man, "If you want to make peace with your conscience, you must fill a bag with feathers. Go to every house in the village and drop a feather on each doorstep." The man did as he was told. He then went back to the priest and asked, "Is this all I need to do?" "No," the priest replied. "Take your bag and gather up every feather." The man left. After a
Mhm.
few days, he returned saying, "I could not find all the feathers, for the wind had blown them away." The priest then said, "So it is with gossip. Unkind words are so easily given, but difficult to take back. Gossip is like mud thrown on a clean wall. It may not stick, but it always leaves a dirty mark." And our quote, not a quote, but our affirmation for today that we carry with us and reflect about, and maybe even share with our loved ones is the most useless thing in the world is idle gossip. I refuse to be a part of it.
Mm.
The most useless thing in the world is idle gossip, and I refuse to be a part of it. And that's the selection today. Mom, what do you think about that one?
Mm. Wow. The most. I'm gonna start here at the with the affirmation. The most useless thing in the world is idle gossip. I refuse to be a part of it. Y'all, truth be told, I think most everything is most, not all, idle gossip because rarely do we really know the full story, right? Rarely
Hmm.
do we have we had an opportunity to talk to all parties involved, right? And even then, you're going to get their version, their perception. So people, you can have a story or an occurrence that has taken place with people and just those two people, and you can have them right in front of you and you can hear them retell the story if they're trying to get help for a situation. I'll use an example of when I'm coaching married couples, right? I'm listening to two people in the same house going here for the same reason, going through the same issues, but in different ways because their perception of it, right, is different because we see and do life based on how we've experienced it, right? And so oftentimes we will have this gossip about people's life or things in this world. But if we're not careful, and most times we're not, we're gossiping about it from our own perspective of it and how we perceive it and the reality of it based on how we see it. So that's why I say most everything we talk about is gossip. I've gotten to the point I don't like talking on the phone anymore. And y'all, when I tell you I used to sit
Same.
and talk on the phone for hours, and when I think back to that, oh my gosh, like we really did sit on the phone for hours. Brandon, you would hear it like
Yep,
hours
I remember. I
talking
remember
about nothing, right? And
with the
so
cord on it too. So it's like I remember tripping over the cord.
man, y'all, I'm telling you, when I think back, it's just an example of my brokenness. I'm
Mm.
telling you, the more I grow and heal, things like this are just dropping off. Even ice. I was talking to a young lady who's like I was with ice. You know, you might be like, what does ice have to do with this? What I'm finding is the more I heal those little addictions, gossiping was an addiction and to avoid my very own life. You know, I'm good. I'm great. So I could sit here and talk about everybody else and life and da da da, because there's nothing I need to fix, right? Even if it was subconsciously my thoughts of that. So to me, if you're not there, and even if you're there, meaningless conversations, because you know we talk about this phone, how much really, because we survived not having this back in the day. We survived it. Had a house phone, but we survived. You know how much gossip goes on with this little baby right here about most times things we don't even know about because we don't have the full story. You'll know how you tell somebody, we've all probably played this game. You tell somebody something, go around the circle, and by the time it gets to the end, you're like, what?
The
I did
telephone game.
it didn't start with that. It didn't start that way.
Right.
So in most cases, what you heard was through the grapevine, and the grapevine can't talk, and the grapevine don't know. Sometimes even the people, like I said, that you're getting the story from, that was part of the story in the story, is still gossip because
Hmm.
again, it's their very own perspective, perception, their reality. Bring the other people in and watch the story change. Bring some more in and watch the story change. Right? Ever been
Right.
looking at the news and they talk about something that's just happened and they interview people and you be like, well, they at the same place? Are they talking about the same robbery or the same whatever situation? We see, we see what we see because it's in us. And sometimes it's not what's happening outside of us.
Right.
Most times it's not. You've not gone in. What you was gonna say,
I
Brandon?
was gonna say we see through the filter of our own perception.
Yeah.
Like we don't see things as they are. We see them as we are.
Right. Right. So um I'll turn it over to you. There was a part in here, but I need to look for it. So I'll turn it over to you and I'll share that before we get off.
Thanks, Mom. I mean, I think this is pretty straightforward. But I really like the the priest could have just said he could have given this as an analogy, right? He could have given him words and said, if you take a bag of feathers and you take them around and put them on every single doorstep, and then you tried to go back and gather them back, you probably wouldn't find all the feathers. But instead of telling him that, he just gave it to him in piecemeal and told him to go around and put a feather on every doorstep, if I'm not mistaken. And then when he came back, he said, now go back and gather them. Because I think that really drives the message home. Gossip, and I saw it this way. You can give gossip with words, but the only thing that can, or you can heal gossip with words, but the only thing that really heals it, not heal it. I mean, you can start gossip with words, but the only thing that can really heal it is action, right? It's going to take more than what you put out to reel it back in, right? And it's not just gossip; it's hurtful words, right? Like we talked about yesterday, even. If you put something negative out there, you're gonna have to go back because naturally, as human beings, you could hear that it's a sunny day or it could be a sunny day every day, and nobody will mention anything. But as soon as that storm comes, girl, did you see this storm? Or we'll speak about the negative and highlight it more or bring it up more than we would the positive. So that negative, that thorn in your side, will stick out and be more pronounced in your conscious than the pillow, on your head as you sleep. So there's a extra weight that we give to discomfort and kind of our resistance towards that. So anytime you say something bad or you hurt or harm someone in any kind of way, it will stick with them. That memory will stay with them sometimes, many times longer than any good that you've done for them. I'm not saying it's fair, but I'm saying that's the way that it is. That's the way that trauma imprints upon us, even in the form of these microaggressions, even in the form of these little small gossips, right? Because sometimes reputation, especially in the Black community, is more sought after than wealth itself, because in many situations people are in these in positions where they might be living paycheck to paycheck. They're in positions where they're working hard just to have some sort of gain. They've been working 20, 30 years, are in a worse position now than they were 20 or 30 years ago, but been at the same job. So when you attack their credibility, when you attack their reputation, when you attack the thing that no one should be able to take away from you because of your own actions and merit, it stings a little bit more. And there was actually I remember reading a paper a while ago that most violence that happens in our community, as far as gun violence, specifically between Black males, is based on respect, their perception of being disrespected, right? It wasn't because of an actual physical threat. It wasn't because of someone stealing from them and things like that, like an actual crime, but it's the perception of being disrespected, the perception of being talked about, the perception of being um, almost, I won't say disenfranchised, but again, the respect or the reputation being undermined or subverted in some way, and that led to more violence than than anything else in the African American community, specifically with Black males. And why is that? Because at every turn, people are already feeling, as African Americans, that we have to fight for our respect, that we have
Okay.
to do double the work in order to get half of the credit, right? So we got to be 4 times as good just to be, just to be, just to have the same outcomes, right, as some of our white or Asian counterparts, right? So when you come back home, or you come back to your own people, right, or your own brothers or people that look like you, your own sisters that look like you, your own family that know the struggle that you've been in, or have come up with you, and they disrespect you, we take it 10 times worse, right? Like, how could you disrespect me? You a brother, you already know how much I paid for these J's, and you gonna step on them? Oh, that's disrespectful. Right. And so a lot of times it's rooted in egoism, it's rooted in materialism, it's rooted in these external manifestations of our dignity, because we have felt so uh indignified, we felt so undermined, our um our respect, and our I guess the kingdom, in a sense, that the man is over, has been attacked in a way. That's the way it feels, because it's like, you should know, brother. You should know. We have the same experience, and if you decide to disrespect me, I can't say that this is because of ignorance. I can't say it's because you don't understand. I can only say that you have a real knife in my back. You have a real problem with me, and this is disrespectful. Therefore, I'm going to be uh, possibly violent or antagonistic towards you, right? So it's a little, it hits a little differently. Like, imagine if you heard somebody was spreading a rumor about you, and then you found out that it's your sister. You find out it's your cousin that was spreading that rumor. The one that y'all drank out of the same cup with, as a kid, right? That you took a bath with when y'all were babies. It hits a little bit different, right? So it's different when another community or someone else that has no bearing on your life, like we were talking about, the hurtful words, like we were talking about yesterday. When someone close to you says those hurtful words, and you still have to deal with them, it hits a little bit different, right? So we have to be careful, right? And we have to be cognizant. We have to be patient with each other. And before we spread any kind of gossip, let's think about that. There's a and I'm always relating it to something uh from my faith tradition, but in Islam we call it, or amongst the Muslims we call it, backbiting, right? We call it backbiting. And there is a a saying that says, "Would you?" And this is from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And I'm surmising this. I'm making a synopsis of it. But would you eat the flesh of your brother? Would you eat the flesh off of your brother's back? Like, would that be tasty to you? Right? And that's why we call it backbiting. Right? Would you eat the flesh of the person that you're talking about? Because that is on par with what you're doing spiritually when you're speaking about someone out of turn, when you're talking ill or gossiping about someone, or undermining their dignity. If you have an issue with something, specifically as a believer, you have one, you can stay silent, but if not, you should go speak to that person directly, in confidence, right? Don't don't make it a public issue, because making it public issues normalizes the dysfunction. I'll say that again. Making it a public issue normalizes dysfunction, right? Ooh, did you hear that so and so cheated on her husband? Oh, did you hear that so and so did this to him, or that he got in trouble with the law, or whatever? Did you go to them and check on him? Did you call the jail to say, "Hey, brother, are you okay?" Did you call that sister and say, "Hey, something came across, or I heard something about you. I don't know if it was true, but I just want to check on you because I know that's out of character for you. Something must really be going on." That is what you should do with that energy, as opposed to running and telling someone else, right? Because now you're carrying a part of that poison, and you're multiplying that emotional poison, that social poison. and that social ill, you're spreading it like a disease. You now are the contagion. You now are that evil spirit going around and sharing that bad news, right? You have taken on a demonic energy because you're getting a rise out of out of out of mess, out of filth. You're getting a rise out of the filth. So what is it about the gossip that gives us a rise? What is it about the situation with P. Diddy that makes us want to look again? What was it the situation about R. Kelly that made us want to see the video of him urinating on a little girl? I mean, these are disgusting things, disgusting natures about ourselves that makes us like to see calamities, makes us like to see tortures, makes us like to see even horror films and gruesome things, right? It makes us want to see the actual video of when that man got beaten, by police, or the video of that drive-by shooting. We want to see the bodies fall, right? There's something about it. The shock value gives us a rise, and I'm telling you that is a demonic energy. That is a demonic energy, and it's something that you can't unsee. It's something that you can't untell. It's like the feathers on everyone's doorstep that you left that get blown away by the wind. You cannot gather those pieces of yourself back, right? For every homicide you see on TV, for every gossip that you spread or bad thing that you hear, you will never take that mark away from your brain, right? So if you had no knowledge of this evil that existed, that evil might not exist to you. But now that you do, you feel something as a human being that something must be done with this, right? And a lot of times we have certain emotional constipations, again, to where we don't know how to exercise or how to offload this emotion that we have, this rise that we have, right? And so we might hear something or see something that happened, and we get a rise. Oh my goodness, I got to do something with this. I just saw something. I just saw. Let me go tell someone else. And that's not what we should do. As conscious human beings, we should find the path, instead of the path of least resistance, the path of least drama, the path of least evil, right? And that is really the high road. That is really the dignity of a conscious human being, to say that what are the what are the consequences of my actions now that I have this information, and how can I be the best change agent in this situation, or have enough sense to say that ain't my business. Right? How many of us can sit back and say that ain't none of my business? How many of you have the strength that when someone is telling you something, giving you some gossip, say, hey, I don't really like to entertain idle talk. It's a waste of my time and a waste of my consciousness. So if you bring in me some gossip about somebody else, what makes you trust me so much with gossip? And if I'm going to go and if you are going to tell somebody else about what somebody else said about them, like, say if you came to me saying like, oh, so and so said this about you and this, Negro, what did you say in that situation? If you call me your friend, right? You call me your friend, but you sat there entertaining this. Why did they trust you so much with this information if you guys have never had a situation where y'all been talking about me before? Right? What is it about you that made them feel so comfortable to gossip about me to you? And now you bring, like, and it's another thing I got from my Uncle Mike. You know, if a dog will bring you if one of your dogs bring you a bone, and it's your other dog, then just know that same dog will bring one of your bones to that other dog. Like, basically, like, he'll take one of your bones to the other side. So don't entertain idle talk. Don't be a person where people feel comfortable giving you gossip. Don't be a repository for filth, right? Don't be a repository for the evil that's going on, right? Unless you are actively doing something to change it and make this world a better place, and the only reason for your knowledge of the evil that's going on is to change it, then don't entertain it. Because trust me, you guys are entertaining evil spirits that are watching you, laughing at you from a place that you cannot see them, enticing you and inciting you against one another, right? Trust me, Satan loves nothing greater than to tear a family apart. Nothing greater than to tear a family apart. So let's start within ourselves and then with our own families, right? And at another time, I might have time to share it, but Mom, I'm gonna go back to you. But remind me in the end, I might share another hadith with you guys about just how much Satan loves to destroy families. Over to you, Mom.
So, Brandon, a few things I wanted to bring up. So, I used to, in Valdosta, Georgia, I had a boss, worked at the school system, principal of the school. She would always, if you went into her office about somebody, what she did was, hold on, let me get that person in here. She didn't never talk ever talk to just
Mm,
one side. She would call all parties. We're not going to have a conversation without everybody involved because I'm not going to keep going through this, right? We're going to
mm,
solve it. So what that did was that kept a lot of people from coming to her because
mm,
we're cowards. We don't want to talk about the person in front of the person because we don't want to solve it, right? We just want to talk about it,
mm,
right? And I want to share this. Why do we gossip so much? And I put this out there. Gossip is a defense mechanism. It feels good to prove another human is much inferior to us. That feeling creates a temporary and partial amnesia for our own shortcomings and insecurities. Instead of dealing with our own ugliness, we create even uglier pictures of others around us so we can feel better. And
mm,
I'll say, and avoid our very own stuff, right? Avoid what's really happening. And we need to be gossiping about our own lives. Go back, son. Go back. We need to be gossiping about our own lives, right? Truth be told, so that we can fix some things. And then it reminded me also, and before I forget this, a troubled conscience. It says there's a legend that drives home this point. A man with a troubled conscience asked the villager priest for advice. Is your conscience ever troubled after you've talked about somebody with somebody and then you write on the phone with that somebody that you just talked about?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right? Does your heart ever feel troubled or your conscience ever feel troubled? And then I'll leave with this. It reminds me of the day that I talked about on this show because you brought up P. Diddy, Brandon. I was having a conversation about P. Diddy with someone and how wrong they felt like P. Diddy was being, that he was being wronged. And somehow, I don't know, politics got in there. So I brought up a family member. I was talking to a family member and I brought up a family member. I said, yeah, it's kind of like how they're doing our cousin, well,
Mm-hmm.
my actually. And the person was like, oh, no, but you don't know her. But do you know P. Diddy? You was just giving him the grace. And you was just, oh, they doing him wrong. How do you know? And why doesn't your family member get that same grace? Because Brandon brought up a good subject. Sometimes we go back to the people that look like us, cut from the same cloth as us, struggled just as we did, but we take more out on them than we do the others, right? Than we do the people who have some, not those very people, but where it all kind of came from and started. So that's why I say, even with trauma, once you know, once we know all about the slavery, where this crazy gossiping stuff comes from, heard it through this phrase, heard it through the grapevine. It says, heard it through the grapevine is a nice way of saying that one heard the information by means of gossip and or rumor, right? Example of this, I heard on the grapevine that my sister-in-law got the promotion, but I really don't know much about it. Let's just take that one sentence right there. I heard that through the grapevine that my sister-in-law got the promotion. I can just about imagine what will possibly come behind that by form of gossip. Oh, I wonder what they gonna do now. I bet she thinks she all that now. She done got her little promotion. They probably gonna go do this rather than saying, I'm so happy for my sister-in-law. I'm gonna have to call her and see, did she get the promotion and what is it? Right? Right, because
Mm-hmm.
what we're really internalizing through our words is that, man, I didn't get the job I wanted. I'm not doing what I wanted to do. what I really want to do in life. I haven't gotten a promotion. So you pull down the person, right? Instead of trying to pull yourself up. So,
Mm.
truth be told, Brandon, what's the truth? It's all
About
about
you.
you. Everything you do, everything you feel is about you.
Yeah.
So, I think that's all I have. Other than I want to ask the question: have you ever had a troubled conscience about
Mm.
gossip about somebody? Somebody. I've seen people. I remember this one day in particular. I was working at the Wolf Chase Mall, and I saw two people come in, and they were together, and I was floored because one of these people, that's all they did was talked about the person that they was with. Man, like a dog
Mm.
all of the time. And I'm like, what? So that let me know. Like Brandon said, dog bring a bone, dog take bones. Because
Yeah.
dogs ain't eat their own bones.
Mm.
All right. So over to you,
I got
Brandon. Is get ready to get out of here if you don't have
all right.
anything.
I got a couple. I got a couple verses that I'd like to share. That I think people might find some resolve in, and these are from the Quran. It says the 17th chapter, verse 36 says, "Do not concern yourself with things that you have no knowledge. Verily, your hearing, sight, and heart, all of them will be called to account." And another Quran verse, chapter 24, verse 12 says, why do not the believing men and women, whenever such a rumor is heard, think the best of one another and say, this is an obvious falsehood? When you take it up with your tongues, uttering with your mouths something of which you have no knowledge, you deem it a light matter, whereas in the sight of God, it is an awful thing. O you, in another verse, chapter 49, verse 6 says, O you who believe, if a wicked person comes to you with any news, ascertain the truth, lest you harm people unwittingly, and afterwards become full of repentance for what you have done. Then another one says, O you who believe, in Arabic it says, "Eladina amanu." O you who believe, let not some men among you laugh at others. It may be that the latter are better than the former. Nor let some women laugh at others. It may be that the latter are better than the former. Nor defame, nor be sarcastic to each other, nor call each other by offensive nicknames. Ill seeming is a name connotating wickedness to be used of one after he has believed, and those who do not desist are indeed doing wrong. And O you who believe, avoid suspicion as much as possible, for suspicion in some cases is a sin. And spy not on each other or behind their backs. Would any of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother? No, you would abhor it, but fear Allah, for Allah is oft returning and most merciful. And then this is the last one I'll share. It says the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, once asked his followers, "Do you know what backbiting is?" And they said, "Allah and his messenger know best." And he continued saying something about your brother that he dislikes. And then someone then asked, "Well, what if I say something about my brother that's true?" And the Prophet, peace be upon him, responded, "If what you say is true, then you have backbitten about him. And if it is not true, then you have slandered him." So in either case, if you're saying something bad about your brother, you haven't brought it to your brother in confidence to help him rectify it, then you have dishonored him. So what is this about? This is about the rights of people. We're supposed to, um, if we have an issue with someone, or if we see someone doing wrong, we should take that issue directly to them and say, brother, for your own soul and for the betterment of our community, don't spread this corruption. Don't do this evil. But if we go and talk about them instead of to them, then now we are the corruptors. We are the ones spreading the evil, and we're the one taking rights away from this individual. It's about upholding the honor and dignity of the believers, because none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. And so if we have the ability if that person has committed a sin, especially if they're not doing it anymore and it's not harming anyone, and they're not there's not a victim in this case, then you should cover their sins. Not saying you should if you know someone's hurting someone in any kind of way. No, if you see oppression, or uh, uh if you see a wrong being done, you should stop it with your hand. You shouldn't go gossip about it, right? But if you know of something that someone has done in their past, right, or something, oh, he used to be an alcoholic. Did you know that? Right? People will say things like that. Sometimes at people's highest point, they'll wait till they're getting a Nobel Peace Prize and be like, well, he did this. Oh, Kobe Bryant, the greatest basketball player, in the last couple of years or whatever. He died. Oh, well, he had that situation with his wife in the hotel room with the white girl that he went to court, and then they might add in a little bit of sugar. Well, he scored 81 points that night that he had court. That was amazing. But they'll still bring up, to save their face a little bit, but they'll still bring up this evil, right? You're on mute, Mom. But they'll still bring up this evil as an undermining, and many times it's because they're jealous of his success. But I'm
Yes.
gonna tell you this, guys. You don't have to, by throwing shade on someone else doesn't make you brighter. Throwing shade on somebody else does not make you brighter. Okay, so try to protect the rights of people. And it says that if you cover the past sins of your brother, especially if they repented, if you cover the sins of your brother, if you hide those and respect the honor, God will respect your honor and hide your sins on the day of judgment. You see what I'm saying? Be merciful to God's creation, and God will be merciful to you. Do you think it's merciful to spread this gossip? You're only transgressing yourself and taking away a right from your brother or sister. So let's not be backbiters. Would you like to eat the flesh of your dead brother? No, you would abhor it. But spiritually, that's what you're doing. And there are punishments in the hereafter for doing such things. You don't want to end your life and your book be written as one of an idle talker, one of gossip, one of a backbiter. This is a major sin, whether you realize it or not. So we'll end it there, y'all. Thank y'all. Mom, if you
Hey,
don't have
Brandon,
anything else.
Brandon,
Hmm.
I do. You brought up something, suspicion, right?
Hmm.
About us being, so that hit hard, and it reminded me of this good thing to say here for particularly probably ladies. I can't speak for men, but I do believe ladies, I'll speak for myself. I used to be a phone snooper. Man, you go in the bathroom on me and you leave that phone. I'm listening to the drops so I could put this phone down, right? As I said, before I healed, there was a lot of things, and that's why I need to be able to go back and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry." But it says it is often seen in people with low self-esteem, so suspicious. Imagine you going through someone's phone, right? And now I don't do it mainly because I don't want it done to me. So I got to that place where I'm like, you don't
Hmm.
do what you don't want done to you, right? If you heard of someone gossiping about you, you're gonna get pissed off. You're gonna be angry. So then why do you do it? And that's why we have to heal. So it is said that suspicious or suspicion is often seen in people with low self-esteem, but also in people who have extreme self-admiration and are not open to criticism. A suspicious person who is in the position of a boss, it explains, will put his workers through hell, as he or she constantly will be thinking that he may be harmed in some way. So let's take the boss out of it. You as a person, suspicious, snooping, right? Those are not good quality characteristics, right? So let's not do what we don't want done to us. And that's a lot. Let's not engage in meaningless conversation, right? If it's not
Right.
uplifting, right, encouraging, solution based, I can't do it. And the next time somebody calls you and say, "Hey, I got something to tell you, but don't tell nobody." Well, you probably shouldn't be telling me. Please don't tell me, because I can't assure you that I won't tell somebody. Because somebody might need to be told.
Right. That brings up another issue, Mom. Not to interrupt you, but what are the exceptions, right? So there may be some situations, in which a story must be shared, even if it's hurtful. For example, there's 6 situations. So when making a complaint to a judge about an injustice, right, that's been done in order for one to reclaim his or her rights, right,
Mhm.
to a judge. So that's an okay situation. To seek help, which will prevent a person from continuing to commit a certain sin. Another one is to seek advice uh, from like a scholar, like we have Islamic scholars, things like that, whether a particular action is allowed or disallowed, forbidden or not. And in this case, one may mention a certain situation without giving names in order to obtain a judgment on the matter, or to identify a person, a specific person, right? Like someone committed a crime and you're identifying that person. But also, if someone publicly declares his sins openly, there's no harm in speaking about it because they've entered it into the public arena, not you. Um, and that's because we don't want to, like I said, normalize sin or evil. And then the last one is to warn others about a certain person. For example, it is an obligation for us to warn others about a person who is known to be a thief or a murderer or a cheat. You see what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
they're doing business with them. You're like, hey, I would have never mentioned this, but make sure you read your contract, right? This person has done me wrong in business before. Please read your contract. So, in order to warn someone about that, there are certain exceptions. So don't be a fool, but don't be an idle talker or a gossiper. So I'll leave y'all with that. I got to get up out of here, y'all. I'm sure y'all do too.
So go
So
mind y'all business today. Go
go
mind your
go,
business.
go mind y'all and mind your business. Like
Mind,
mind
mind,
down,
mind.
like figure
Yep.
it out, right?
Your mind.
Figure out
Yep.
what your business is and then put your mind on it, right? Because that's what
Business.
really matters. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Our title today was "I Heard It Through the Grapevine," but hopefully we didn't speak it and send it back through the grapevine. Ed Bradley, the host of 60 Minutes, the co-host of 60 Minutes, said, "I think the public is too hungry for gossip. There are things more important than who slept with whom." And our affirmation for today that we will carry with us and maybe share with one or two people. The good gossip, right, is the most useless thing in the world is idle gossip. I refuse of it. If you hear it today, turn the other way, right? Refuse to be a part of it. Y'all take care. This is End of the Season podcast. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Peace.
Groove on out of here, y'all. It's Friday. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow be a quick show. Got to get in and get out. Got to be somewhere. So y'all come in early because we'll be getting out about 7:15.
Cool.
All right. Go be great and mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind